Alright, welcome back from break, everybody. Happy New Year. Awesome. It's 2019. Can't believe it, really. Life goes so fast when you get old like me. But hey, here we are. We're back. We're ready to learn. So let's get to it right away. The first unit that we're doing this new year is going to be calculating a budget. Okay? So we've already talked a little bit about this, and you guys did some of it in Excel. We're going to change that up a little, and we're actually going to do some pie charts later on after you learn a little bit about pie charts. And I'm going to be working with Mr. Eller on that as well. So he's going to be putting together something for us to use in order to learn a little bit about pie charts. Again, that's going to come later. Let's set the foundation first. Okay? Just budgeting for right now. What does it mean? How do we calculate it again? It should be a little bit of a review. So let's get to it right away. Our lesson objective today is learners will be able to set up a budget based on their income. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your income that you've gotten in your last two paychecks. You're going to average that. That's going to be your income for your budget. Okay? We're going to be setting up a budget. That's going to be our final goal. So a budget, this is something that you'll probably want to write in your notes. A budget is a plan based on actual numbers that shows how you will distribute your money within a set period of time. Okay, so your budget is probably going to be monthly most of the time. You're going to figure out how much you can actually spend versus how much your income is each month. Okay. Now, budgeting for beginners. Where do we really start with it? Okay, we must start with our income, because if we don't have any income, there's no way that we can say, all right, well, I'm only going to spend $70 on food if I don't even have $70 that I'm going to earn. Okay, so you must have an income in order to start a budget. And you guys do all have incomes, okay? Whether it's unemployed, whether you're a manager or a secretary or skilled labor, you guys all have your incomes. Okay? This is just going to be some review. As we learned earlier, okay, we know that we can have different types of income. Whether we get paid on salary, which would be annually, okay, hourly, or piecework. Remember, piecework is saying, like, we'll pay you $75 for every office you clean, or something like that. Okay, so the more offices you clean, the more money you get. And then we know that we have some taxes that are going to be taken out of our income, whether it's federal tax, Social Security, Medicare, whatever it could be. We know that we have these, what we call deductions. Okay? So, let's look at how we can actually start to set up this budget. Okay, we're going to skip over hourly and piecework. We know that we calculate those just based on either how many hours you work or how much work you get done in that period of time. Okay? We're going to skip over these. This is important here, though. Making a new budget each month is the only way to be sure that you're going to live inside that paycheck. And what that means is, when you set up your budget, you want to stay within how much you earn. So let's say you earn $2,000 a month. You don't want to spend more than $2,000, obviously, or you're going to be in debt. Okay? And we don't want any of debt, because if you're in debt in my class, fortunately that means you didn't pass. Alright, so we're going to stay away from debt. Now, if you have an income, the government demands its shares. Again, these are what we call our deductions. Okay? In this certain example here, alright, they're saying regular, you're going to get paid $40,000 a year. So, on these dates, which is a month, you make $3,000 or $3,333.34. Alright? You don't get to take all that home, as we know. So after all of our deductions right here, we're going to take home just over $2,900. Okay? Now that's what we're going to use to set up our budget. Okay? So, in terms of this budget, we also have what we call long-term debts. Okay? That's going to be like your school, your car payments, your house payments, all that stuff. Okay? This is actually one of the easiest parts to calculate in your budget, because you're going to make like a set amount each month. So you're going to say, if you have a car payment, let's say your car is $20,000, I'm going to put $350 every month towards that car payment. So it's really easy to budget because it's not going to change a lot. Okay? It's not going to change a lot. So, we have this what we call fast track to no debt. Alright? And we have some rules. I'm going to briefly read over these. Don't need to write these down. It's just for your information. Okay? Rule number 1. Look at your smallest debts. Pay those off first. Okay? If you have $800 left in your car payment, just get that done with so you can forget about it. Rule number 2. When that's paid off, take off that monthly payment. Okay? Obviously you're not going to keep paying more for your car if you've already paid off that loan. Add it to the next smallest debt. Okay, so if you're putting $350 towards your car payment every month, and you're done with your car payment, put that $350 towards your house, because now you're paying $350 more for that house each month. Rule number 3, repeat those 2 rules until you're out of debt. Alright, so let me show you how it works. $7,000 at 1%, okay, that's $200 every 2 years that you're having to pay in interest. So if you can pay that off quicker, you're not going to pay that $200 off. Alright? And this is just going through how much you can actually pay off debt. Okay? All of a sudden, you only have $200 that you've paid off in 2 years. Well, in 5 years, that becomes $400. In 20 years, it becomes $1,400. Okay? By adding each debt, smaller debt, to that bigger debt next, it's going to pay off so much quicker. We're going to skip over this. It's just a really easy example. Okay, let's get to bills. You guys have to pay bills every month. There's 6 of them that you guys have to pay. It adds up. $320 a week for our class, right, is the bills that you have to pay. So, right now we all have flat rate bills. I'm telling you, you must pay $100 towards rent each week for my class. Alright? Those are pretty easy to calculate. Alright? If you don't have bills that are the same each month, what you need to do is then take them over the last 12 months and average it in order to get your best results to put in your budget. So, like your food, you're not going to eat the same amount of food every single month, right? But you can eat an average of $150 worth of food a month or something like that. Okay, so that's what that's talking about there. Savings. Alright, this George S. Clason right here, pretty famous author in the financial world, okay, and he's the author of This Richest Man, okay, and that's going to come up again. So if you hear me say the richest man savings, this is what we're referring to here. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole quote, but nonetheless, right here is the most important part. Not less than 1/10 of his earnings. 1/10, okay, you should put in your savings. If you can save 1/10 of your income, that is one way to become the richest man in the world. Okay, that is what he has claimed, and it's held true for a lot of people. Not obviously like the real richest man in the world, but you'll be very, very well off if you can do that consistently. Okay, we know about purchases. Alright, there's 4 basic categories here, which are almost the exact same things as you guys have to pay each month. Right, you have to pay your food, okay, you have to pay your maintenance or your miscellaneous stuff, your dates, okay, and fuel for gas. Okay, dates meaning are like your bills that you're paying your dates on. Okay, it's not like taking your girlfriend out for a date. Okay, it's talking about dates of the actual month that you're paying those bills on. Okay. So, this is what you're going to have to do in order to earn some money on your worksheets today. Alright, it's going to give you your income. Alright, it's going to give you all of your deductions here. It's going to give you all of this stuff. And what you're going to have to do is calculate whether you're over or under budget. Alright, that's the goal for today. Just calculating over or under budget. Okay, obviously, you don't want this number to be negative or you're in debt. Okay, you want that number to stay above 0. Alright, I think that's going to be it. Here would be an example, let me show you here. Here would be an example of a good budget. Okay, $3. oh, I only have $3 left over after everything that I spend. No, that's not right, okay? Because right here, we already have all of our savings. Okay, we already have our savings in there, so it's not like we're saving $3. Since we already calculated that, we have $3 left over, which is good. That's what we want. Okay? So, here's a little piece of advice for you. When it comes to budgeting, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Alright? You can come up and grab a worksheet when you're done. Remember that we're not going to be paying bills today or tomorrow. It's just going to roll over into next week. So hopefully your next week paycheck will be a little bit bigger because we'll have 2 extra days on that time card. Alright? That's it for 6.1. Alright.